mentioned at the very beginning that good art is reparative both for the artist and potentially for society. You've given us a couple of ideas how that might be in your individual case, being present in the moment. And I'm curious from the video with the mask and the inner light, how is that reflected in your work? How is that reparative for you? And how might it be for us if we were all to be institutionalized in your institution?
Anyway, I don't know, mask came after this artist is present. I just was really reflecting to icons. I just, I'm a tool. Whatever I use is like some people paint the mask, I just put gold on myself because I am the object and subject. So, and to me it was really to talk about inner light and to this experience that actually that light comes from inside and not from outside. And to me, gaze with the people. I felt the light. I felt what is happening. I have the really clearly out-of-body experience. So that the idea of the miracles, the mask, the spirits, it was all there. And how to transmit that image, it was just simply with mask. Nothing more. Did I answer your question or you completely asked something else?
No, I think it's probably a question that can only be answered with art. So thanks.
Okay.
Okay, over here.
I have a more practical question, I guess, and that is, how old were you when you knew you were an artist? And did you have the support of your community and your family? Or was it a long fight for you?
Yes. I started really, really early. Since I'm a child, I think I was an artist. I was very jealous of Mozart because he started with 7, but my first to have public concerts. But my first show was 12. And I say, oh my God, I'm so late. And anyway, I was painting everywhere. I was a painting. My biography is really funny. I started painting my dreams as a kid, 6, 7 years old, 10, 12. I have the exhibition of the dreams. Because for me, the dreams was the easy thing to paint because it's given to me. And the dream was like almost second reality I live in. After the dreams, I was painting very strange things. I was painting truck accidents. But this truck accidents was, again, a very funny illusion. I never talk about this thing. I was actually having little trucks, children trucks, and I would go to big highways and put little children truck, and then wait till the big truck would go and smash them. And actually never smash them. So I was painting the big trucks smashed by the little children trucks because the innocents are the ones who survive. So this was the kind of idea. And after these trucks, I really turned to sky, and I started painting clouds, and there was all kinds of clouds. And everything was fine. My mother was happy, I was an artist, the family was happy, no nudity, everybody fine. And then the clouds, I had this complete crazy ideas about clouds. Clouds who are coming, clouds who are the projections, clouds who are the shadows, clouds who are attacking the bodies and so on. And then one day I'm lying on the grass and looking at the clouds, and just happened there was no clouds, pure blue sky. And out of nowhere arrived 12 military planes, ultrasonic, just vroom, and they make the sky lines. And I look and I completely got fascinated. They was making these drawings, and and then the drawing was disappear, and it was blue sky again. This was for me spiritual revelation. I stand up from this grass, I went straight to military base. My father was general, by the way. So I went to military base and I said, can I have 12 ultrasonic planes to make the drawings? I was 17. They called my father and said, can you get your daughter out of here? You know how much cost the ultra jets to make for her painting? And then I never paint anymore, ever. I started making sound installations, and I started making, but it was impossible because everything I want, it was not possible to be done. I wanted to make the speakers on the bridge in Belgrade with the sound of the bridge falling down, because I wanted to stand on the bridge. This was before the war anyway. I want to stand on the bridge, and I want to visually the bridge is there, but with the sound don't exist. I also made the airport installation in the student center. We didn't have money. We could not travel. We was always in the same place. Students waiting for to go to the cinema or reading the books or go to the gallery. So there was like a big hall, and we just stand around drinking coffee. And then I put a speaker with this very strange voice. It was mine, but kind of a little bit deformed, saying, immediately all the passengers of the airplane, of the airline yacht, which is Yugoslav airline, have to go immediately to the gate 345. We only had 3 gates, by the way. 345 was looking so important. The plane is going to Honolulu, Tokyo, and Bangkok. And every 3 minutes, all people there are imaginary passengers of the trip who are never going to take. So we change with the sound and the kind of environment. So this was my escape, the way to escape. And then through the sound, I start involving the body. And the moment I understood, in the first time I made my first performance, this was my media, this is where I have the most energy, this is where I really can do things. I can give everything to the public. It was so strong. That moment, it was the end of everything, all the peace. My family was questioned on the party meetings what kind of education I got, why she's naked and making communist star on the stomach and lying on in the 5-point fire stars. Why, then my professor was thinking that I deserted art. I was completely like a black sheep, abandoned from everybody. I felt that it's all I wanted to do. And the worst, and then the moment when I finally left, went to Holland, I don't know, nothing could worse happen to me. I was a survivor. And I knew that anything that you can tell to me, any bad critics, anything, will never change. So you have to have this conviction that no matter what, you have to go for it. And then I have this logo. If you say no to me, it's just the beginning.
Okay, I see we only have about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to
2 minutes is a long time.
It's a long time. I'm going to ask you if you could very quickly, all three of you, just ask your questions. Let's hear what they are, and then Marina can respond. So let's start here.
You see what we are doing with time. We are getting shorter.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to find out if the finished piece happens for you once you've engaged the audience, and how important it is to entertain. But I realize you might not be able to.
Okay, well,
get there.
let's hold that for a second. So about the finished piece, entertain the audience.
Good evening for Avant-Art magazine. I'm interested in the New York neuroscience experiment and the measuring the magic of the mutual gaze. I would like to know whether you're looking for more questions rather than an answer through neuroscience, and isn't it almost an oxymoron to talk about measuring the magic?
Okay, and right behind you, let's hear your question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So entertainment.
All right.
Throughout the late 20th and early 21st century, the art has changed a lot. Do you think your art has changed a lot throughout the time period?
Okay, thank you. Why don't we start with that one?
Yeah.
And I wrote down the other one.
Entertainment is the last. Okay.
Right, okay.
So this is the.
Your art has changed a lot over time, and how has your heart changed?
Centuries change, but it's not the century changed my art. What happened in my life is that art changed my life, because I will never do things I'm doing in art that I will do in life. So I put such a high kind of bar to my work. I always say I'm going to do this and this, and then no matter what, no matter that I'm going to drop dead, I will do it. And then because of that, the work changed my life. Just the example, after Artist is Present, I stood up out of this chair and I was not the same person. It was incredible change. I just been two months in Brazil working with the shamanism. I come back, I'm a different person. So that work changed me, not centuries. It's my work changed me. Mm-hmm. Okay, second, neutral gaze. Gaze.
Right, well, it was about neuroscience. Yeah. Are you looking for questions or answers, and can you measure the magic?
You can't measure the magic. There's just the kind of expression, the mutual gaze, magic of mutual gaze. But actually, scientists put this title for this work. But basically, it's to really collect data that you find out. I'm much more interested for answer. When I ask scientists, but what we know about the brain, the answer is almost nothing. So we are in the beginning. We don't even know where life comes from. So I need answers. I don't want questions. We have enough questions. We need answers. And I was a perfect guinea pig for the scientists, because they could not find anybody to sit so long and so motionless like me. So I am really, good experiment, thing.
And then this final question was about, is the final product only after your engagement with the audience, and to what degree is entertainment involved?
my work is so serious, but I'm very funny in my life. I'm really funny. I love to laugh. It's so important. It's so important that you have this energy to laugh, especially about your own self. I think this is really important. So I like to finish just the story this evening in one of the funny stories of my life, which is also the part of the theater piece of Bob Wilson, Life and Death of Marina Abramovic. And this is my story about my nose. So that's the story. As a child, I was very ugly. I had orthopedic shoes because of flat feet. I had always glasses. I have the horrible cut hair below the ear with a pin, and I have lots of bad skin. And the worst part was that my nose was so big. And on child face, I really looked terrible. So the entire my childhood, I was always cutting different Brigitte Bardot photographs from the front, from the left side, right side, and trying to convince my mother to make plastic operation. And my mother looked at the child, Brigitte Bardot photograph, slapped my face, end of the story. So I developed this perfect plan. I was, 13. I developed perfect plan. I put all the Brigitte Bardot photographs in my pocket, and Sunday morning, when nobody was home, I went to the bedroom of my father, an unhappy bedroom of my father and mother, and they have this huge matrimonial bed with the hard edges. So my plan was perfect. I will spin around as fast as I can. I will fall on the edge of the bed, exactly on my nose. I will break my nose. Then they have to bring me to hospital. I have Brigitte Bardot photographs in the pocket. They're going to fix it, and everything is perfect. So I really did it. I spin like crazy. I fall down, not on the edge. I miss the edge, and I cut myself like here, all bloody. The photographs falling on the floor. I'm lying on the ground. My mother come, slap my face, and thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
That's entertainment story. Thank you. You go. Thank you.